Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Blacktop Banter. This is episode 53, so we're moving right along, like I said, and we're trying to get a variety of guests with a variety of different perspectives and fields and areas from our industry. Of course, we're always going to have guests coming on that are, contractors and all that stuff too. But, contractors need, whether it's products or whether it's marketing help or whether it's software or whatever it is, they need these things. And I get curious about them. So I start asking, I meet people, and then I want them to come on and talk about it even more and let all y'all get on the information and the news and the cutting edge too. So this fella that we have today, and I know we need to get more women on the podcast too. It's not, I know people are like, man, it's all guys most of the time. Trust me, women, if you want to be on here, let me know. We'd love to have women on. We had a couple before, but dude, I'm getting to know more women that are in boss spots and they have a great perspective. So if you're listening, women, reach out. We'd love to have you all on. But this is my buddy. So we became friends here not too long ago, kind of heard of each other. We have a mutual friend for sure, that we're both very good friends with, and we just hit it off. We started mainly just hit it off talking about bro stuff, and then next thing you know, we're talking about what he's involved in, and I really like it. I like the product. If you follow us on TikTok, you have seen the TikTok video already, I believe, and if you follow us on Instagram, it's on there too as well. I think we put it on YouTube too, of me being at the SpotOnSite booth at National Paving Expo. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce Hayden Cortez. Hayden, tell us about yourself. First of all, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, everything like that.
Cool. Well, first off, thanks for having me on this awesome podcast. Like a comment on your post yesterday, it's cool seeing your consistency finally pay off, and just constant effort in this. And it's been a pleasure to get invited to come talk on this. But my name is Hayden Cortez. I am the co-founder of SpotOnSite. I also am the sales manager for a paving company called National Pavement Partners. I've only been in the paving industry for 5 years. It's kind of funny where God takes you, but I actually went to school for exercise science.
Really?
Started working at a gym. Yep. Started working at a gym, doing gym sales and membership sales. And, in walks in my co-partner now, or my co-founder, Zach, who also owns the paving company. Signed him up for a gym membership, and we just built a friendship, and that's how I got introduced in the industry. So
that's crazy, dude. That's a crazy connection.
Yeah.
It reminds
5 years ago.
It reminds me of Pain and Gain. You know that movie Pain and Gain?
Yeah, right. Dude, with the Rock.
Dude. Yeah, you do kind of look like Mark Wahlberg a little bit. I'll give you that, I guess. All right, keep going about what happened after that, because Zach is our connection, mine and yours. But what happened then after Zach come in? How did you get into this?
So, I was working at the gym, and, I signed him up for the membership, and he kept stopping by my office and saying what's up every day. And we built a friendship based off that. And, months down the road, I was ready to move on to something different. I was going to stay within the same industry of health and fitness. I really wanted to go do cancer rehabilitation or exercise programming for cancer patients.
Cool.
But unfortunately, the market in the industry is not there yet for insurance and all that stuff. So Zach's like, hey, man, I love the way you do sales. I think you got a great personality. I think you'd be a good fit. I have a sales job open. And I remember just thinking, I'm like, dude, because I found out like he did asphalt and concrete. I'm like, I know you drive on asphalt. I know you walk on concrete. You drive on it too. Yeah. That's all I knew about it. Yeah. So, it's one of those jobs that you think about, and now that I'm completely immersed in it, that you don't realize how many people are involved in it. And it's such a niche kind of industry anyways. So start off for a full year, I just did everything. I ran equipment, sat on jobs, picked up cones, wipe people's ass. I was the guy that was there to pick up all the pieces, so to speak. And so finally he let me run free and start selling. And so had pretty good success first couple years selling, and then recently moved up to the sales manager this past year. So that's how I got into the industry, and I just found a love for it. Really, it's a very challenging industry, and out here in Colorado, it's where we're based out of. It's you go hard for 6 to 8 months, depending
Yep.
on weather. And then, there's no real off season, even though everyone says there is.
I know that, dude. People give me shit all the time. They're like, like the other day when we were cleaning out the bulk tank, I was showing Wish Cheeks how to clean it out. I'm never getting in there again if I can help it. But I did it, and then one of the guys was giving me shit like, "Oh, you work one day in 6 months, and here it is, you're showing off, you're working." I'm like, dude, and he's just giving me shit because he knows I'm here all the time, right? And doing all this shit or whatever. But yeah, they think that, but it doesn't really stop. The only thing that's different is when you're working, paving, or doing asphalt maintenance or anything, you're going as fast as you could to squeeze as much in as you can in that short amount of time, right? So I'm going 100 miles an hour, dude, all the time. I put my feet, the same thing with you, I imagine. We put our feet in our shoes or our boots, get out the door, and we're living this until we go to sleep. And even when we go to sleep, we're dreaming about it. And you wake up, put your shoes on, and do it all over again. It does slow down eventually,
man.
but you live it, right?
You're right. I have dreamed about paving jobs going south, and, like the
nightmares. Yeah, dude, those are nightmares. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
kind of what you're saying. Even in the off season, we really focus on estimating hard and getting our backlog filled up. So, if anything, we're just speeding up and rolling out the new plan going into this next year. So,
yeah, that's what we do too. We do a lot of. I love readjusting our SEO, our marketing, social media marketing, right? And then I also like readjusting our plan because some people are going to work for certain things and sometimes they're not. And like you said, you did for a year picking up cones, doing all that stuff. I love to make somebody do everything right away, right? Because then they're like, I don't want to do that shit. I want to be here, but I don't want to do that shit.
Right.
So then they adapt, right, to what they're good at, and they're like, well, I want to do this, and I want them to want to do whatever role we're going to put them in, right? So it works out. It works out good, and we are bringing on more people. It's a growing thing for us. Luckily, I got a good, a good friend in Zach who can kind of be like, dude, you got to do this. Dude, you need to do this. This is the next step, amongst a lot of other friends, and that's kind of like where I'm sure things started to lead on with you all and SpotOnSite. Tell us about like how it got started. First of all, we should tell people what it is, and then tell us how you got started, and then we'll go into the features and why it's kick ass. Like people have seen the video, they asked questions about it right away when we did it at the booth.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that feedback. So, what SpotOnSite is, it's a mobile application with a desktop interface, so your customers can see your projects and stuff that you create. With the tool, you can measure, mark areas. You can take photos and videos and attach them to the specific areas. And finally, number 3 is you can generate instant reports that you can share with your team. So our whole goal with your team and then with your clients, our whole goal with this is to create customer and client transparency.
Yep.
So, especially for the paving industry, we get a black eye as it is trying to, shade asphalt and, all the sketchy horror stories you hear about.
Yep.
We really want to kind of turn the page on that and give customers a better image, or give contractors a better image.
Yep.
And also have a technological footprint that our industry, construction in general, has been lacking. So they say construction sometimes is I heard people say 5 to 10 years. I heard 10 to 15 years behind other industries. So that's kind of our new niche, is we want to be like kind of the construction technology guys, help out fellow contractors get to another place. So
I mean, you see that technology, like different technologies in all these other industries, right? And I like people that have been mapping out with drone technology way ahead of us before they did it, and was able to look at roofs and do whatever and however. I always see that we're behind it a little bit, but I think, and sometimes I think that's because we only got 6 months to work. So like, during those months we were busting chops, actually bringing revenue in the off time. Some of these guys are doing that, trying. It's hard because our industry, if you're not in it, it's hard to develop stuff for it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the rub. But there's a lot of construction, all types of agriculture, all that stuff. People that are doing businesses or making technology, they can go out there and adapt and figure that kind of stuff out. But,
Yep.
with us, we're behind. I think that's why we're behind, honestly.
I totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of logistics that go into running a paving company, and it's a domino effect. If the plant breaks down, then the trucks are sitting, and then the paver's sitting. So there's a lot. What I've been open to is like there's a lot of stuff you got to have in place in order to make a project run smoothly. So why we built this product was to at least help the front end and then the back end of the projects run more smoothly.
Yep.
And look better for your customers. So how we came about this was with National Pavement Partners. We had a mapping program. There's many great mapping programs out there. I'm not even one to bash on programs, and like everyone has their own specialty, but we were using a mapping program. But what we wanted to do was take our proposals to the next level, because Denver is highly saturated with contractors. So what we would do was we'd do our maps, and then we'd flip over to our camera app and take pictures of the areas. Then we flip over to our notes app on our iPads is what we were running on. And then we put in all our measurements and comments and all that. When it came time to go put an estimate together, it took way too long. It took way too long. We had some rink-a-dink, Word document thing that we put together that we would send, and the customers even loved that. So we're like, man, if we can take this to the next level and do a actual product that's like a 3-in-1 shampoo. I call it the college guy special. The shampoo, conditioner, and body wash.
All in one.
Mapping system, the photo video documentation.
It's the swab, dude. It's
the swab, right?
Yeah, it's the swab.
I totally remember, or like the Axe body, the 3-in-1. So that's why we created this product that was all encompassing. So, and then on the flip side, we noticed our customers, property managers, they had similar but different problems. Their problem was when they needed to get work done, they had best business practices to get 3 contractors come out. So they have to set up 3 separate meetings to show different contractors the same area, where these guys, if they use this for their inspection reports, which they're doing anyways, you drop a pin or even measure the area and send it out to contractors as an RFP, so they don't have to meet. Especially during the COVID times when that hit, like meetings went face-to-face meetings obviously reduced significantly. So that was
I don't think any property manager likes getting an email with 4 or 5 attachments. You know what I mean? See the notes attachment. It's like, it's right now, dude, it seems archaic, like, because there's so many things that are consolidating together. One thing I noticed about yours, like we were talking about the mapping software, of course, but also it kind of has the feel of another software where your crew and everybody stays in and stays informed and everything else as well. So it's a hybrid actually of 2 types of software, because that same one where your crew stays in, that same other program, which we won't say, and I'm not going to, bash anybody or promote them on your all spot, but you heard me say the program a lot on here. We're definitely interested. I know a lot of people that use it, but the customer as well can see on that program as well. So it's kind of a hybrid of both. And that's the one thing that I always talk about with guys that, are developing software or doing software, is don't throw absolutely everything at me in one software, right? Like absolutely everything. It's so much. With SpotOnSite, it takes 2 really simplistic versions of stuff, puts it together, hybrids it together, so it's easily readable for the crew, it's easily readable for the contractor, of course, and for the customer as well. That's one thing we noticed on the iPad. I think that's why people were like, tell us more about this thing, right?
No, and I appreciate you bringing that up. And that's one of our other huge problems that we were facing was, the handoff process from sales over to production. So how we used to do it was we'd print off a site map and hand it to our foreman, our superintendents, put it in their box, whatever. Say, hey, here's your areas of repair. Well, these poor guys, they get on site and say it's a large HOA. These guys can't read where the hell they're at. They can't figure out on a site map from a satellite image where they're at. So we had guys doing the wrong areas accidentally. So it's a lot of go back work and the inefficiencies that came with that. So we're like, man, we need to be able to be able to have this product talk between the team members from sales to operations to production. So everyone can see the project as it's going from start to finish. So we included a team sharing feature so you can share projects from device to device with your team members.
Yep.
They can pull up their project when they're on site. Say I'm the foreman, we're doing a concrete job. I'll pull up the project that the estimator shared with me, and it shows my location where I'm at on site. I can walk up to every single area that the estimator has bid.
Yep.
And has pictures of. And as we're progressing, I can take pictures and photos as the work's getting completed or with change orders.
Yeah.
They can document change orders through there, and it saves automatically to the project. So it's all one running link. So by the end, when we send this final invoice to our customer, we send the same link that we do initially as the initial proposal.
Yep.
And you have your before pictures, your during pictures, and your after pictures. So there's no questions asked about what was done. You're not missing areas with your team. Everyone's collaborating on it. You can see progress on what areas got done and what didn't. So
I bet the property managers like that, especially when they got a report on the project at the end and they're able to present it and be like, this is how we did it all the way from beginning. This is why we chose whoever used it, because they had this software at the beginning. Like, not only is it, make your business fluid, and make it easier for you to function, it might also be leverage when you're selling work. You know what I mean? For, hey, you're going to be able to see it from beginning to end. I got a question about the, like, property managers. Can they interact with you? Like, if you, let's say, like, there's a basin or something, and you guys are going around and you're like, oh, the concrete around the basin is compromised. Can you message the property manager through the SpotOnSite app, or just put it there in attention so they can see it, and then them say, yeah, go ahead and fix that while y'all are there?
Yeah, and that's a great question. As far as like communicating back and forth through the app with your customer, with non-licensed users,
yep,
we haven't integrated that feature yet, but it's part of the communication process to where you'll say, hey, check out area.
Call them. Yep. Okay.
You put in comments there that this needs to be fixed.
Yep.
What do you guys
what do you want to do? Yeah, here it is on the app. If you open it up, you'll see the area we're talking about. This is how we fix it. This is how much it is. Cool. Yeah, dude, that's still killer. It's still killer for dude. It's still killer for you to be able to say that, just to call and be like, hey, will you open up the email, in the link? There it is. We need you to look at this real quick because we're trying to get going. And they could be, dude, they could be up in the front office, or on vacation. Who knows, and be like, oh yeah, go ahead and fix that too while y'all are there.
Exactly. And cool. So obviously during production time and after the job has been awarded, it's been great. But, for National Paving Partners, we were extremely top heavy company because sales were just booming through what we've created. Then kind of what we're learning indirectly, it's almost like when you start something, you have your vision of how everyone would use the product and how the feedback would be. We had some indirect, positive feedback with our customers because we'd send them a proposal with our link. Yep. And they'd be like, hey, I see your proposal, but can you show me how to use this link? There's your opportunity right there. You say, yeah, let me walk you through the link.
Yep.
Say, yeah, click on this photo. This is area A. You need to do this. So you can walk.
You're showing them
the project with them.
Yep, all the way through
the proposal process. So it looks better on your end. It's a product that nobody has out there.
Yep.
And the more FaceTime and talking time you have with the customer during that bidding process, the more likely you're going to.
Oh, yeah. It'd be the same as doing a site walk with them almost, and if they can't be there, as well as I do. And I know at National Pavement Partners, they know us as well. Efficiency is king because we only have so much time. And same thing with these property managers and general managers in areas. The more efficient you are for them and the easier you can spell it out, the more likely they are to go with you, honestly, because they know that you got your shit together. You're down to the point. You're showing them what they need to do, and you can sell them. Like you said, it's like doing a site walk, except you're going to be able to walk them through it at that time, right, when they're looking through there and stuff. So it's epic when it comes to that. I want to know, like, once you guys decided you wanted to do this software, right? Like you wanted to make something, what was that process even like? Like, how do you do that? Like, how are you and Zach sitting there and be like, we need to do something? What is like the very first step you do when you're like, we want to develop a software that we want to use?
Yeah, and man, I love talking about this part because it is a challenge. I'll tell you that. So first step for us is, through our connections, we asked around and saw if anybody knew a developer
Yep.
to build an app. So, we got around to it and finally got introduced to this developer, and the developer's like, all right, well, I kind of want to see like your mock-up of it, because all you're doing, like we're not coding experts. We're not Zach and I do any of the coding.
Right.
That side.
I've always heard this is the hardest part, like of it all. I've always heard that
Yep.
developers are hard to work with, from what I
They are, and a lot of people get burned. Like a ton of people get burned. I'm not even going to give it, but I bet you a high percentage of numbers of the developers are overseas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they could easily take your money and run, like
be gone. Yeah.
Fortunately, we got hooked up with great developers. Our development team is awesome. And so how we originally created this was, I put on a Word document. I used the Word document and used, like, you can do shapes and stuff like that. Yeah. And I created what I wanted the screens to look like using shapes.
Okay.
I still have it till this day. And, 10 years looking back, hopefully this thing's blown up. I'd love to share that back, like where we started to where we are now.
Yeah.
But I used the shapes and stuff and showed the different screen dialogue and how I wanted it. And we sent it to them. So that was our vision. And they go and execute it. And we pick the colors and all that jazz. So originally it was only going to take, they give us a proposal. I don't know if they knew what they were getting into, but the original proposal was that it was going to take them 3 months to build. So we started this February of last year, 2021.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, dude, by May, June, we're going to be hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't actually go live until February 7th this year.
Yeah.
So what was it, 2 weeks, I think, before the Pavement Expo out in Charlotte?
Yep.
So the full front end development took a full year. We had a working viable product probably by 6 to 8 months down the road.
Okay.
And what we were doing is we rolled it out to our national pavement partners team, and we were just testing it. We were just trying to break it, and see what issues, what things we need to change, because it's literally impossible to think about all the different ways a user would use this product. So,
what a resource for you guys, that, like, for you to develop the software and you to have national payment partners to test it on, versus other companies that try to do this and they try to get contractors to test it. You know what I mean? Like, if they're outside the industry. Oh, dude.
I mean,
crazy.
Like, to be calling and be like, hey man, I can't even, like, this thing's broken. So our guys would be yelling at us, but at least they're yelling at us and they know us. A potential customer. Right. So we tested it internally for about 5-6 months, and it helped us out tremendously. Just small feedback, the project sharing, the site maps. And so finally this year, with wrapping up the marketing and the website and all that, we're like, all right, we need to roll this out and take this thing to market. So start doing, pre-launch campaigns, got some good feedback, and making connections like yourself.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Matt Stanley and Raised on Blacktop, all those guys. Brian Hess with the Pavement Group. We're all great friends, and just using their network to get in contact with people and contractors. So we've been live for a month and a couple weeks now, and it's,
you got growing pains.
Growing pains is right. For those of you guys who are watching this now, Marv and I were sharing about some of the issues that we're going with, and it's very similar to any industry really, but it's like sometimes the paver breaks down and there's nothing you can do. Nobody can foresee it. So trying to get through those things, and it'll happen with anything, but staying positive, and we really care about our customers, and that's like more when something wrong happens, it's more, it hurts
personal.
me more.
It's
more
personal.
for me
Yeah.
than it is for the customers. So,
Yep.
we're building this to help contractors take their business to the next level.
Yep.
That's our whole goal between that and client transparency. So,
what do you think your favorite feature is, Hayden? Like, what do you think if you had to pin one down? What do you think your favorite feature is about SpotOnSite?
I would say definitely the team sharing feature is my favorite. How easy and simple it is for a user or like a foreman to upload and add their own comments and videos and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then share it with the team, and then it instantly pop up on the dashboard or the link where your client can see it.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite feature. But I don't know, man. I think I'm obviously biased. I think the app's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we just put a ton of time and effort into it and want to make it as user friendly
as we
as
can.
possible, because
yeah, I get you.
Everyone's busy.
Well, one challenge we're gonna have with the podcast is people actually seeing it, right, and being like, well, what does it look like? What is it? So, what do you guys offer for like people that want to see it and want to try it, or at least entertain the idea of trying it? What do you have available for people that are listening here on the podcast?
Absolutely. So you can check out any of our social media pages. SpotOnSite is all one word. I know people or autocorrects to SpotOnSite,
right.
Out. But any social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, type in SpotOnSite. We post all of our content, but we also got a YouTube channel that's up and running. In one of our videos, especially for the paving industry, I did a video on how to assess a property using SpotOnSite.
That's a good one.
So what the video is it shows half of it is me walking around, and then the other half is the screen and the buttons I'm pushing. So I'll show you guys how to do a patch, how to use the line mode, how to drop a spot, take photos and videos, and then share it. So that's great content for you guys to go look at.
Yep.
What we're about to roll out here pretty quick is going to be a demo trials. We want to get this in the hands of as many people as possible. We want people to just use the crap out of it. So Probably within the next week of this launch, I mean, it's the 18th right now. So probably early next week, we're going to be launching a free trial campaign. So anyone can go and try it and give us good feedback. And
so that's really good. Like he just told you how to follow along. So if you follow along, right, like follow him on Instagram or Facebook, or keep an eye on go subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm sure something will pop up on there as well. But once that hits, obviously you all are going to say at SpotOnSite, hey, get a free trial if you want, whatever. So the listeners, like, follow along when they say get a free trial. If you want to try it out, right?
Yep. And the way to get that is all you do is go onto our website, www.spotonsiteapp.com. There'll be a request a demo page, I guess. Button.
Yep.
Click on that, fill out your information. One of our agents will reach out and we'll get you guys set up, get your account set up. And then, with software, there's a negative stipulation because a lot of software, especially companies with contractors, they just swipe your credit card, you never hear from them again.
Right.
You want to make sure your whole team is set up and people are using it in the right places and position that they are, that they're in. So like the foremen know where in the process they use it. The estimators understand from front to end how they can use it. So we'll help your whole team get set up, and we just want people to use it, man. I hope the product will speak for itself, and we're just trying to be open to any suggestions that people might have as well. We'll feel free to reach out to myself or Zach. We also have like a comment set or a
contact us.
Yeah, contact us page.
Yeah.
And so if you guys have any recommendations on what would make the app better, let us know. We can't solicit everything, but if it's something that we feel a ton of people will benefit from, then him and I will put the money behind it for sure.
Cool. That's what's nice about it being kind of just we're in the fledgling process of SpotOnSite, right? So you guys, I know both of you guys are open-minded fellas for sure, and you can adjust, right? Like right now, we can adjust it till we get a real nice product that appeases the majority versus a couple of them not wanting to do it or whatever. I got one more question before we get to the fun part of the podcast.
Lay it on me, man. Yeah.
So when you're talking about the free trials and using it and everything else, what do the contractors have to have already like in their possession in order to be able to download or use SpotOnSite efficiently, like you guys would like it to be? iPads, phones, Macs, like, what is it available on Android too, or is it on Google Play, or is it on, Apple? I want people to be prepared if they're going to go ahead and try it out. What do they need? What do contractors need?
Absolutely. I appreciate you asking that. So currently we have it built for iPhones and iPads, so Apple only.
Okay.
Obviously we have a desktop interface that works, so you can use it on any program or any type of laptop. It doesn't really matter.
Cool.
But right now, iPhone and iPads.
Okay.
And we are working on the Android capabilities.
Yeah.
That's going to be about a 6 to 8 month development. So stay tuned for that.
Cool.
That's currently what we run on. So
yeah, most people use iPad anyways in the field nowadays. But some people are diehards, dude. Like,
right?
There's people that are diehard Android, and I'm like, all right, man. But there's also people that are diehard Apple. But it is what it is. Cool.
Each his own. And then one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
We were trying to make this process more clear to people. But if you guys do want to sign up for a license, you guys sign up. You pay through the website where you purchase your license, and then you'll set up your account that way.
Yep.
And then the app store is actually a free download. So after you sign up, you pay for your license, and then you download the app, and then that will grant you access.
I got you. You put your information in there. It links it to your license, and you're good to go. Cool. What is, like I said, I had one more question, but now I got more questions. Yeah, it's because you, dude. You should have just let me end. What does that look like? What does the payment structure look like?
Yeah. So all our payments are month to month, no contract. You can cancel at any time.
Cool.
So we have package sizes. So for a single user, it's $249 per month. For up to 5 users is $499 a month. Up to 10 users is $899 a month. Up to 20 is $14.99 per month. And then if you have any company bigger than 20 users, reach out to us, and then we'll give you guys some special pricing. But it's month to month, just bills automatically, just like a Netflix or.
Yeah, dude, I like to break down, because if you're one guy, chances are you're doing seal coating yourself or something. One minimum charge pays for that month.
Yeah.
So like if you're doing 4 driveways a day, in their minimum, if they're all minimum charges, 1 driveway that day is going to pay for your software for a month. That is going to actually make you look very professional and help you grow, right? And not only that, when you want commercial work when you're that size, if you can show up at a commercial job and look more professional than a company that's maybe been in business 10, 15 years, you got a little bit of an edge. That's how you get in. Like, dude, that's how you sway people's minds. Like, there's people that these property managers are stuck on who they've had. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Dude, when you try to get those jobs wrangled away from those contractors, you have to come with every piece of ammo you have. And sometimes they're like, all right, do this little part over there. When you make that experience way better than the experience they've been having now for 10 years, all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, maybe we'll try a little more and try a little more. That's just the way it goes. That's capitalism. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. So when you got SpotOnSite, maybe that's going to help you out. Maybe it's going to give you that little bit of leverage.
Cool, man.
Cool. All right. So now let's get to the fun part. I need to ask you, so you've been in the industry now, 5 years or so, picked up cones, like we said, wiped asses, you said, got coffee, filled up the roller with water, all this stuff. Right. And, during this process, you've climbed that ladder there at MPP. I like to abbreviate and say MPP, but I don't know.
MPP and SOS, that's all we say anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know if Zach liked that or not, but I've never really judged what I do off of whether Zach likes it or not. And I think, and I think he also lives his life that way. Right. So, we get what we get.
I'll tell you that.
He definitely is. I think that's why we connected. Honestly, I think that's why we connected. So, tell me about a piece of advice, like whether that's what you've learned something through developing SpotOnSite, or whether you've learned it by being at National Pavement Partners. What is one piece of advice that could help somebody who's listening that's a contractor, or maybe they want to develop software, whatever. what would be one good piece of advice you think that would cover that?
Yeah, good question. So something that I've learned not only through national payment partners, but through, working with Zach, and also starting this new company is, the growing pains we talked about earlier. You can't be afraid to take the leap. If things are scary, that means you're growing. And those are issues or places you want to be that you should go head on towards. So don't ever be afraid to take the leap.
Yeah.
When for MPP, we were wanting to buy a mill, and it was scary because mills are freaking expensive.
That's big money, man.
We don't really know how to get into milling, but Zach's like, you know what, let's do it. So we got a milling machine, and then that took off. And then same thing with this business is like, we're construction guys. We don't have any business going into running a SaaS company, but at the same time, we knew we had a good idea and a good product. So we're like, you know what, let's not be afraid. Let's take the leap and let's try it out.
Yeah.
So
cool. I like that piece of advice.
Yeah.
I think that takes it with anything. If you're going to try to do something exceptional or extraordinary, you have to do that, right? You got to be a little uncomfortable and a little scared. If not, somebody's going to catch you and pass you more than likely, or they're going to get to it before you do. So the thing is just not being too comfortable, and then also not being so far in over your head that it's damaging. So go ahead, take a little bit of a leap, be a little scared. Go ahead, try something that you don't know how the hell you're going to do it. You know what I mean? Spot on site. Like, dude, if you told me, Mark, even if I had a great idea, I'd be like, dude, I know nothing about this. I'm good. You know what I mean? And you guys are like, let's just do this. Let's make it work. We want it. We like it. We're going to do it. So here we are, right? So very cool.
You want to be a ready, aim, fire guy, but sometimes it's a ready, fire, aim.
Yeah, exactly.
You figure it out as you go.
Exactly. Cool. All right. Before we're done, we're going to do something fun again. So the podcast step is back. Dude, so like I didn't do these, and then I did them for a while, and then I didn't do them, but I'm going to do them again because it's fun. And I can, if I know the person, then I don't mind doing it, right? Because we're bros, we hang out, like it's fun. And if it's a guest that I'd never met before, then I don't like to put him on the spot. But, you and I are going to be together, right, at World of Asphalt coming up. Is that correct?
Yep, absolutely.
So we're going to be shooting the shit and hanging out and probably taking some pictures and staying out too late, all that good jazz. And and creating some good memories. So if you're my friend like that, I don't mind doing these with you. So
awesome.
This is a good one, bro. All right, I'll show you. So I don't want people to think I'm making it up. So this is it. If your pause game is good on the videos, you can see what it says. All right. If you were stranded on a desert island and could choose one person to keep you company, who would it be?
Oh man, that's easy. My wife.
Yeah, I seen some pictures.
Yeah,
y'all been hanging out.
Yeah,
it's cute.
My wife is my homie, my best friend. We could laugh, have fun together. I know that's probably the soft answer and not the answer that would.
That's all right though, because there's a second part to it. So
okay, all right.
Yeah. Now, what about one animal? If you could pick one animal to be on there, what would it be? Or what animal would it be? You have a specific animal, or
and you could be friends with them, or would they still try to eat you like in their primal state?
Hey, if you want to live a little, dude. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I saw this movie I saw called Apocalypto. I think it's called back in the It's like it's a pretty gnarly old movie. But the black jaguar on that movie was sweet.
Yeah. So that would keep a guy on his toes.
Yeah, probably like a black jaguar or black panther, but
cool. I like that.
As long as we were friends, he wouldn't try to kill me. So
yeah. Well, also, dude, maybe you could get some scraps. You know what I mean? It might be a smart survival move. You got to feed a dog. Maybe the jaguar or panther would help feed you. Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it, Hayden.
Likewise.
I really appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to dig in. When we see each other, time is flying, and we don't get to have these type of conversations and be able to sit down and chill. And we're going to go ahead and get together again. Time is going to fly. We're going to wish it would have lasted longer at World of Asphalt. I'm going to be there. Hayden's going to be there. If you listen to the podcast, this is going to come out before then. If you're going to be there and you want to know about SpotOnSite, Hayden will be there. He'll be wandering around, message him, do whatever, find him, come find me and ask me to message Hayden for you. I'll find him and we'll get him over there and he can help describe SpotOnSite to you. Sound like a plan, my man?
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you going out of your way to help me and other companies too. So what you're doing here is awesome. I appreciate you having me on here. I'm looking forward to buying you a beer or two out there in Nashville.
That sounds good. You might have to buy me breakfast, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like we might have to recover. You know what I mean? So
right.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. All right. For myself and Hayden Cortez, this is Blacktop Banter. This has been episode 53. We featured Hayden and everything they're doing out there with SpotOnSite, National Pavement Partners. We want you to seal it, pave it, stripe it, and kill it. Peace.